bellomag.com, and we're joined today by one of the stars of the hit History Channel show, It's Vikings. Katheryn Winnick is here. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and season 3, the premiere, the #1 show on cable. I mean, not bad at all.
I know. It's crazy. The numbers are insane. It's nice that it keeps going up and word of mouth, and people are now tuning in to season 3. And
Do you know, it's a great show. It's really easy to watch. I watched episode 3 of season 3 last night.
You're all caught up.
You were getting down to it with the king in the Roman bath.
Yes.
It seems kind of romantic at the moment, and we're all kind of, I guess, rooting for that relationship in some ways. But I can't help but thinking that, you know, King Ecbert is up to something. I mean, I don't know how much you can say, but...
Well, Lagertha now in season 3 is a free woman.
Yeah.
She's an earl in her own right. She now can do whatever she wants with whoever she wants. And there's something about King Ecbert, I feel, that she's attracted to.
Right.
He's a very powerful man. He's very educated and worldly, and introduces her to new culture, new wine, new art in terms of the Roman bathhouse, and things that she wouldn't necessarily have been exposed to. And with that, there's definitely an intrigue, and she's definitely very fascinated by him.
He needs to be careful, because she'll stab him in the eye.
Oh, don't worry. Lagertha is a smart cookie. She knows King Ecbert, and I don't know if she fully ever really trusts him.
I'm sort of hoping deep down that something might happen that's not so good, and then Ragnar's going to come in and like save the day, and that's going to please like the viewers, isn't it?
I know all the audience, like the fans, definitely want to see Ragnar and Lagertha get back together. But it's kind of nice just to kind of keep the tension when, like, at least at the beginning of the season.
What I like about Vikings as well, I think it's a show that's dispelled that myth that Vikings are just these warriors that go out and kill people wearing these helmets with horns and all of that. You know, this is a bit more true, you know, as much as we know, true to life, isn't it?
It's true. It's, you know, obviously a lot of people think Vikings, or at least when I first started signing on to this series, there was not that much information out there in terms of who exactly were Vikings, or what kind of women were portrayed in the Viking society as Norsemen. And it's really fascinating when you do your research on it, how many, or how the women were celebrated and how strong they were at that time period, that they were allowed to own homes and be farmers, but also young mothers and warriors, and own land, and eventually rule and divorce their husbands.
I feel like they're almost a stronger gender in a way, because they were doing everything. They're like farming, they're bringing the kids up, they're out there, you know, being warriors as well.
I know, it's one of those, I guess it's a society that everybody has to pitch in. It's all about survival, and you kind of have to wear different hats. You have to be a farmer to be able to get the food. Coming to grow food, but also you need to protect your home, and maybe be a warrior and have your shield and sword on hand. And also you need to make decisions in the community. You need to be able to all pitch in, to be able to make the right decisions, so people would have to be able to either migrate or survive, or work within themselves in terms of their political influences or political motivations, I guess.
Yeah. It must be pretty intense, I'm guessing, filming the show. I mean, you're horse riding, you're fighting with swords and shields, you know, and then you've got to deal with the dialect as well.
It's definitely an intense show. It's not for prissies.
And the rain, the weather, I can imagine.
And shooting in Ireland, as you know, you're from the UK. It's harsh conditions. But I love it. It's nice to be out in the elements, and I think this show's works perfectly for that, because if we're in a studio the whole time, I don't think the show would come across as authentic.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of your own stunts?
I do all my own stunts.
All of them?
All of my own stunts.
Wow.
The only time that they won't let me do it is if I'm riding a horse fast, just because of legal issues. But in terms of all the fighting, I don't have a stunt double. I just do everything.
That's pretty incredible.
But I will get the horse. I'm going to get the horse. I will get the, maybe season 4 or 5, they'll realize that I can hold my own.
I guess the role sort of lends itself to some of your own skills, because you started Taekwondo when you were 7, is that right?
I did. I started Taekwondo at 7. I got my first black belt at 13, I started my own martial arts school, Winkai Martial Arts, at 16, and by the time I was 21, I had 3 schools around Toronto. So I started teaching actors martial arts and movie sets before I was an actress.
Wow.
I thought I was going to be...
How did you cross over then?
It was crazy, because I really thought I was going to be in the health and fitness industry because of that, and I was working on a degree in kinesiology in health sciences from York University, so I thought I was going to do anything to do with the body and
Right.
running businesses on that, or at least I was intrigued with that side of the body, I guess, or out of that side of the industry, I guess, the health industry. But how did I start? I started teaching actors martial arts and movie sets, and I got a chance to hang out on set, and I realized what an amazing life this would be, and what a challenge it would be to get a chance to act every day.
Yeah.
And so I moved to New York for many years and studied acting and was bicoastal. I did every
Paid off.
crazy. Yeah, well, I paid my dues. I've definitely done a few horror films out there. Yeah.
So season 3, obviously, as I've said earlier, doing incredibly well. Season 4 on the cards, do we think, or do we not know yet? Or
I know right now they are gearing up and they're in pre-production. So
okay.
there are people in Ireland getting the studio ready for us, but we have not been ordered officially for season 4. So I don't know.
People would be pretty upset if it didn't come back, and if you didn't come back as a lead character.
It's crazy. I think I'm just definitely going to have to keep my luggage nearby because we might be off in a few weeks.
Yeah. Well, before you go, I have got some fantasy, I guess, Viking battles. So I'm going to give you 2 Vikings characters just to do something a bit different.
Okay.
And I would like to know, from your point of view, knowing what you know about the characters in the show, who you think would win the battle. It's as simple
Between
as that.
2 Vikings that actually exist on your show?
On your show.
Okay.
So 2 characters, yeah. So Floki and Athelstan.
Oh, of course, Floki.
Okay. Any reason?
Floki is the only character that does not have a sword or a shield. He actually just has his axe.
Right.
And that was his choice. Gustav Skarsgård plays him. He's amazing, great friend too. And Athelstan just became a Viking recently. He was a monk first, so I don't think he's that experienced.
No, not tough enough.
No, not tough enough.
Calf, a little bit sneaky, or Bjorn.
Bjorn! You're asking me to choose me as a
You've
mother.
got to choose your son,
I gotta
haven't you?
choose my son. I trained him. And Calf,
Ragnar or Rollo?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I would think Ragnar is definitely a smarter fighter.
Yeah.
In the sense of knowing how he's not necessarily 6'4" or anything like that, but he approaches his fighting through an intelligence and tries to outsmart his opponent. Whereas Rollo is more of a berserker and extremely strong and awesome. And Clive Standen plays Rollo, and he's amazing. And he also has a background in martial arts.
Yeah.
So he can hold his own.
Okay, and final one, Lagertha.
Oh, you're asking me if I can beat somebody
or Siggy.
Let me ask you that. What do you think? Who do you think will win, Lagertha or Siggy?
I just thought I'd throw it in there to see what you said.
Siggy is going to hands down kick my ass. She wins.
It'd be good to see. Well, listen, thank you very much and good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys,
Great
for
to
having
meet you.
me. Very nice to meet you.
All right, take care. Thank you.